Everyone, Tim Schofield here from QBKing77.com. Here doing a video. I'm not going to be doing a news video this week. I guess this is kind of a news video, so I'm replacing this. There is an article recapping this week's news on my website. Jason made it. Go ahead and check it out. There's a lot of good stuff. But in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about the boom of smartwatches and Android Wear recently. Real quick, before I do get into the smartwatches, I wanted to make a quick note. Actually, Flygrip, I'm sure you guys remember the company I've worked with in the past. A real good company. They've actually partnered with Warner Brothers and the movie Dolphin Tale 2, which stars Bethany Hamilton, who is a sponsor of Flygrip, actually. And they have partnered together, made a custom Flygrip, everything like that. So it's great that they're getting recognition from these big companies like this and having partnerships with them. So I want to say congrats to them. They're a great group of people that work there. So congrats, Flygrip, and I'm looking forward to see what you got coming in the future. If you were talking to me 2 years ago, I've had one of the main questions my friends and other people ask when they find out I make these tech videos is, what's going to be the hot new product in the future? That's the main question I get, and for the past couple of years I kept telling everyone smartwatches are going to be big, and that has clearly came true now with all of these new devices coming out, and you'll start to see a lot more smartwatches on everyone's wrists. Now, I personally don't own a smartwatch yet. I have not invested in one. I wear a watch every day, actually, but I don't have any smartwatches, which is weird because I always wear a watch, so you'd think I'd want a smartwatch, but I just haven't found a smartwatch that caught my attention for one or two main reasons, and I'll talk about those a little bit later on in the video. But to start things off, I wanted to go ahead and talk about 4 separate Android Wear devices, all of these running Android Wear, and they have recently been announced by Asus, Motorola, LG, and Sony. So these are the top 4 smartwatches I want to talk about. Now, for similarities of these devices, all 4 of them have 512 meg of RAM and 4 gigabytes of internal storage. So not one of them has tried to strong arm another when it comes to RAM or storage, but there are differences when it comes to processor, screen size, battery size. So those are the other 3 things I'd like to talk about. So now, first of all, I have my Nexus 5. I've got some notes on there, so because I didn't feel like memorizing all of these specs. But Asus Zenwatch was an Asus Zenwatch, my bad. But that was announced, Asus Zenwatch. It has a Snapdragon 400 processor running at 1.2 gigahertz, which is pretty standard. I believe the LG G Watch R has that as well. So the Asus Zenwatch has a 1.63-inch display. It is not necessarily, it's more of a square display. So I know some companies have gone with a circular display. The Asus Zenwatch has a square display, but I am still looking forward to it. It looks pretty good. Interesting color designs. Like I always do, I'm going to throw up some pictures of these. But moving along, we do have the Moto 360, which is now out. I couldn't get my hands on one. Not many people could. It was high demand, so I'm still waiting for my local Best Buy to get it in stock. Hopefully this week I'll go ahead and run over there, buy it, and make a video kind of unboxing, and then do a review out very soon. So a lot more Android Wear and I guess Moto 360 coverage soon. I might be getting another watch. I haven't decided yet. But anyways, Moto 360 has a 1.56-inch screen and a 320 milliamp hour battery. So let me compare batteries. Moto 360 has a 320 milliamp hour battery. G Watch R has a 400 milliamp hour battery, and the Sony Watch 3 has a 420 milliamp hour battery. So of those, Moto 360 has the least amount of milliamp hours, which I have heard from reports that battery life might be a little suspect on the Moto 360. They do vary. Motorola touts all-day battery on the Moto 360. However, they've gone with 80 and 100 milliamp hours less than the G Watch R and the Sony Smartwatch 3. Next, you got the G Watch R having a Snapdragon 400 1.2 gigahertz processor, just like the Asus Zenwatch. That has a 1.3-inch display, which is the smallest out of all of them. Asus Zenwatch being the largest, Moto 360 being the next largest, and then you have the the Sony Watch is like 0.04 inches bigger. So essentially the Moto 360 and the Sony Watch 3 are about the same size, and the G Watch R is the smallest at 1.3 inches, and that has a 400 milliamp hour battery, like I said. They went with a circular design, just like the Moto 360. It looks pretty good. With smartwatches, you can change the faces on them, and developers and I guess themers will be able to put out different faces that you can download and have on your devices. So that's kind of exciting because you can customize it to your liking. One of the main things when you decide to purchase a smartwatch, if you do, is to look at the hardware. I guess the styling of the band, if you want a leather band, if you want a metal band, if you want a square face, if you want a round face, those are just things you need to look into, which leads me to my next point. After I talk about the Sony smartwatch, the Sony smartwatch, it is a 1.6-inch display and 420 milliamp hour battery, so the largest, and it has a ARM A7 1.2 gigahertz processor, so a different processor from the other ones. Which is interesting. I'm not a big fan of the design of the Sony Watch 3. Some of you might, some of you might not. It looks more of like an athletic watch as opposed to a style watch, which now I can segue into what I'm trying to say is when I have not personally purchased a smartwatch because I have not found one that looks good enough. Honestly, when you wear a watch, it's more of I guess a fashion accessory. You can look at it as it is functional, of course. You can just tell the time without having to pull your phone out of your pocket, so there's that as well, but you can look at it as an accessory. And that being said, all of the older smartwatches didn't catch my attention. I didn't really like how they looked, so I decided not to buy them. But now that we are getting this boom of all these new devices, I went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to for sure buy the Moto 360. I do like the design of that, although I am a little worried about battery life, but luckily I can report to you on the battery life through social media, through other things. I'll be doing a lot of tests on battery life because that's a main thing. In my opinion, battery and style are the two most important things when it comes to a smartwatch running Android Wear. And speaking of Android Wear, just wanted to kind of talk about it. So as you've noticed, none of these four devices have a manufacturer overlay. They've all just gone with Android Wear, stock Android Wear, which is great. Good to see. I'm kind of happy about that because all of these Android Wear devices are going to get updates as Google releases them. So they will all be updated. It's not going to be device specific. They're all going to be updated at the same time, which is really good news. Of course, you got Samsung running, what is it, Tizen on their smartwatch, so that's completely different. That's Samsung's mobile OS, I guess. So with Android Wear devices, you're going to get updates with all of them. Speaking of updates, they're going to be adding GPS, offline music, and Bluetooth headphone pairing on, I believe, October 15th with a new update. So there's that. I just wanted to throw that in there. But yeah, one great news about Android Wear is all of these devices are getting updates. And hopefully, from what I've seen, like I said, I haven't really used Android Wear yet, but from what I've seen through videos and stuff, of course I keep up to date watching other YouTubers and such, but from these videos, I've kind of concluded that it needs some work. The software needs a little bit of work. So, of course, it has more function than telling the time and this style design, but it just needs a little bit of work when it comes to, I guess, functionality. Some of the features on it don't necessarily work how they should or work at all, actually. So hopefully in the future Google will get these updates out quickly. It's not by no means it's bad. I definitely like where Google is going with this, and it's very functional. It works well. Don't think I'm bashing on it at all. But yeah, like I said, it just needs a few updates, and hopefully it will get to a great platform where it will seamlessly integrate your phone and your wrist, being your smartwatch. But yeah, so just want to give you guys an update on where Android Wear is. Decided not to do a news video. I'll do a news video next week. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you could let me know what you think. If you're going to get one of these watches, which one you're going to get. If you're not going to get one, why aren't you going to get one? Any feedback I'd appreciate. If you could subscribe to me as well. Like I said, future smartwatch videos coming very soon. And that's it. So if you could give this video a thumbs up, that'd be great. And as always, thanks for watching.